Welcome back to Sports and Twins View. So this is our current affairs episode. We'll be talking about quite a number of things that have been happening in the football world in the last couple of days. Stay tuned. Let's talk about the PSL, the Betway Premiership. And the league is nearing its end. It's finishing on the 23rd of May, and things are down to the wire. Now, the team that is on top of the log, Mamelodi Sundowns, have played all of their games. All of their fixtures are complete for the season. Pirates, on the other hand, have to finish. They have one more game on the 23rd of May. And for Pirates to win the league, they are second. Pirates have 66. Mamelodi Sundowns have 68 points. And for Pirates to win the league, they need to win their last game. So Pirates are under pressure. The onus is on them to win the league. It's for them to lose, essentially. If Pirates want to win the league, they need to win their last game. Now, what is my view on the game? What is Sports and Twins' view on the game? I think the boys are eventually going to win the league. They're playing against Orbit College. Orbit College are on the relegation zone, so they're not a very good team. But you never know with these last game season type of situations. Teams always want to finish strong. The bottom league team, so it's going to be quite an interesting game. Orbit College against Pirates, but yeah, eventually I think Pirates are going to take it. The boys have really been playing well. They have a really good squad. You know what I mean? Really, Mofokeng is one of the top goal scorers. He's the number 10 for Pirates, and you have Sipo Chain, their goalkeeper, who broke a record for most clean sheets. Broke Ronan Williams, Mamelodi Sundowns keeper's record for most clean sheets. So they're very good, this season, Pirates. And Sundowns, they've won it. They've won the league 8 consecutive times. So yeah, Sundowns have been winning the league. They have experience, and they know what it takes to win the league. But yeah, I think Pirates are going to take it eventually. And with regards to the Champions League, Caf Champions League and the Caf Champions League and the Caf Confederations League, Mamelodi Sundowns and Pirates, because they're first and second, secured their spots to the Caf Champions League, and Caf Confederations, which is tantamount to a Europa League. Kaizer Chiefs, which are third in the log, they secured their spots in the Caf Confederations League. So shout out to Kaizer Chiefs. They really have been doing well. It's been a roller coaster for them, but towards the end, they were very consistent. They've had very good results towards the end of the season, and them being consistent resulted in them securing their spots in the Confederations. And it's not just Chiefs in the Confederations, it's also Durban City FC. Now, Durban City FC secured their spots by winning the domestic knockout tournaments, Nedbank Cup here in South Africa. So shout out to Durban City. They've also secured their spots for the CAF Confederations League. And not only that, Sundowns are in the Champions League finals. Now, Sundowns are going to second leg. That is, they already played the first leg, played in Loftus, and they won 1-0. Beautiful free kick from Umudiwa, and that free kick resulted in them winning that game. Now, there's a second leg taking place in Rabat, Morocco, Champions League second place leg. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think Sundowns are going to finish it off there. You know what I mean? I think the boys have experience. They've done this before. Well, last season they were in the finals and they did lose. So I think that experience, bringing it into the second leg finals, is going to be very, very important. And the squad they have, very good squad, very good coach. I think Sundowns are going to eventually take it, and they're eventually going to add another star, Champions League star. They have one, so now they're going to want to have two, and it's going to be an amazing story for South African football. Shout out to Sundowns, And yeah, that concludes the South African football. Let's get into the Premier League. Let's get into the Premier League. It's going to be quite an interesting one, this. Now, for those who don't know, Arsenal are the champions. They won the Premier League. The Premier League is nearing its end as well. 24th of May, that's when the last games are going to be played. Arsenal, yeah, shout out to them. The boys really did well. They deserve it. Arteta, I think he deserves it more than anyone. Shout out to the team, staff, shout out to the fans, Declan, Bukayo Saka, shout out to the boys, cool. But Arteta, he's the architect of the whole thing, essentially. Everyone knows his part. He's the guy behind the scenes. Arteta has been there. The team I mean, the team is built. You know, the players he's brought together, players he's brought from other teams, you know, loaning player here and there. He's been, look, it's been tough for him, that I know. You know, that's why I say that he deserves this thing, because he's been very close in the past, but he was never, you know, there. You know what I mean? It was a 100-meter race and he would literally, I don't know, get a hamstring injury in the 80 meters and not finish the 100. You know what I mean? Last season, very close. Season prior, very close. You know, they've been very close. But this season is where they literally were like, you know what? He was like, you know what, boys, let's take it. It's ours for the taking, and they took it. So shout out to Arteta. Shout out to Arteta. And they won because Man City had drawn against Bournemouth on the 19th of May, and Man City won that game. It was going to be a last game of the season type of, you know, race, and then Arsenal are going to be put under pressure. They're going to have to have won their last game, you know, on the last day of the season type of thing. But shout out to Arsenal. You know, I say this again. You know, everyone thought they were going to bottle it, eh? People are like, you know, these guys are going to bottle it once again. You know, these boys are going to. That's not what I thought. I thought, looking at how they were playing during the season, I was like, okay, these guys are, you know. So yeah, shout out to Arsenal. And the same Arsenal team is playing against PSG in the Champions League finals. Champions League finals. The winners of the Premier League are playing against PSG. Now, do I think that Arsenal, having won the Premier League, are going to win the Champions League? Absolutely not. PSG are going to win. That is Sports and Twins' view of the game. PSG, man. PSG are the best team in Europe. Number one team in Europe. PSG are a formidable opponent. Throughout the Champions, they've played very well. They are the defending champions. They're going to want another one, and I think they will get it. The team they have, Dembele, the coach, Enrique, amazing squad. PSG are very attacking-minded squad. You know, after scoring one goal, they're going to want another one. They're going to want a third. They're going to want a fourth. You know what I mean? Whereas Arsenal, they score a goal, they're going to want to park a bus. I think that's very conservative team, Arsenal. Their system has worked for them to a certain extent, Arsenal. Their system won them the Premier League. You know what I mean? The number of their goals are from set pieces as well. I'm talking about Arsenal, corners, free kicks and the like. So that's the other ways they've, you know, gotten the good results. But in the Champions League, man, that's not going to work. Yeah, the guys, PSG are going to be like, yo, bro, none of that. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, yo, none of that. Arsenal, not PSG rather, they have that X factor. You know what I mean? They have that X factor. They have that thing, bro. PSG have that thing. They know what needs to be done in order to win, you know, these type of finals. So yeah, I think PSG are going to eventually take it. But back to the Premier League, the other teams that have qualified for Champions League next season. Let's just get through it here. Arsenal, obviously, because they won the Premier League. Man City, them being second, qualified for the Champions League next season. You have a Man United. They've had a good season. You know, it hasn't been the best, but compared to the other team, they've done very well. Their coach, the coach that they brought in, he came in at such a shaky time, but he was able to, you know, sort everyone out, make sure everyone was calm, calm and collected. And Man United are now in the Champions League. So Arsenal, Man City, Man United. You have Aston Villa, 4th place, Champions League. Liverpool, they've had the best season. They have not whatsoever. However, they did, you know, make it to the Champions League. People are saying, the fans and reporters are saying that Onslaught needs to leave. You know, Liverpool's situation has been shaky. You know, but yeah, they did make it to the Champions League next season. So that's better than nothing, you know, better than nothing. Any of the Europa League, Bournemouth, the same team that drew against Man City, you know, so shout out to Bournemouth. Bournemouth they've been very good, you know, so shout out to them. Off late, they've been very good. I think the newer owners, or Michael B. Jordan, one of the owners, you know, they've done really well. in terms of the executive ownership of the place, and they brought in very good players, brought in a good coach and the like. So shout out to Bournemouth. You also have Brighton, they're also in the Europa League. So yeah, it was a good season, Premier League season, but you're Arsenal on winning the Champions League. And that concludes our, I guess, Europe part of this video. I want to now talk about the under-17 Afcon that took place in Morocco. Let's talk about the under-17 Afcon. Now, the under-17 African Cup of Nations taking place in Morocco is currently underway. Started on the 13th of May, finishing on the 2nd of May. And I want to talk about this tournament because last year, the same tournaments took place last year. Morocco did win. Bafana under-17s, Ama Jimbos, the Bafana boys, they participated in the tournament last year and they did relatively well. You know, they were in the group stages, they got out of the group stages and they went to the quarterfinals. They lost against the winners, Morocco. However, their performance there secured their spot to the World Cup, right? So one would think, okay, they did very well last year. This year, they should do, that's their standard now, you know, because you're in the quarterfinals. This year should also make it to the quarterfinals. That wasn't the case. This year, the boys, under-17, Majimba boys, they got eliminated in the group stages. So they won their first game against Senegal. They won 2-1. Then they then played against Algeria. They lost 2-0 against Algeria. In their final game in the group stages, they then played Ghana, which they lost 3-1. And obviously these losses resulted in them getting eliminated. And that isn't a good situation, you know, for South African football. Under 17, they did well last year, but this year they didn't do well. There are reports that this was a result of bad preparation on SAFA's side. Now, the South African Football Association, I have spoken about them before. If you just look at my previous videos, they didn't prepare the boys well. You know, the boys should have played a number of friendly games against competitive teams, Nigeria and Algeria, Morocco, before actually participating in this tournament. Because obviously, if you play those type of friendly games before a major tournament, you prepare yourself. You know, you get proper experience and the like. And the boys didn't get that. They played some SADC region games against Malawi, Zimbabwe. You know, I'm not saying that those aren't strong teams. I'm just saying, relatively speaking, compared to a Morocco, Zimbabwe isn't a good team. So this whole situation speaks to SAFA's bad governance, and I've been talking about the SAFA. The guys at SAFA, the guys at their helm, are not doing what they ought to be doing. They're not doing what is expected of them. Danny Jordan, president of SAFA, he has been president for the longest of times. He hasn't been governing well. I've been saying that he needs to step down. We need to get, you know, newer faces in SAFA, you know, fresh minds, people, get former players, you know what I mean, former players who've been in the battlefield, get them to, you know, president to lead the pack at SAFA, you know, because bad governance at SAFA results in us, you know, not doing well with our development side, and the boys not. And you can blame the squad to an extent, but you can't blame the boys. You know what I mean? The coach, you can't even blame the coach. The same coach the coach they have now is the coach that, you know, helped them get to the World Cup last year. So you can't really blame the coach as well. That is why I am saying that this is a SAFA issue. This is an issue that SAFA ought to sort out. They should have sorted this out, but they didn't. Yeah, changes need to be made. And I think one of the reasons I started this channel is because I wanted to inform you, the public, of these type of situations that are taking place. These federations, these associations that are messing up. And they're messing up, and them messing up is resulting in us not being number one. What do I mean by us? Our national teams, you know, our football teams, under 17 boys, our hockey teams, our national teams, the senior national teams not performing well because of these federations, because of these associations who are not using the funds allocated to them accordingly. So that really needs to change. But anyway, that is my 2 cents into this matter. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Please, whoever's watching, please do subscribe. Please do like the video. Please do share the video. You know, maybe you might know someone who's interested in sports and the like, and just share it to them. They might want to hear what I have to say. and comment down below. Let's interact. What do you think about this whole under 17 Afcon situation? What do you think about my views on the Champions League, PSG against Arsenal? Maybe you think Arsenal is going to win it. Tell me down below. What do you think about the PSL? What do you think about Champions League, Caf Champions League? Do you think Sundowns are actually going to bottle it and lose? What do you think? Let me know. And yeah, having said all of that, see you on the next one.